Hi, I'm Ananya. I'm a junior content manager with Trip101. Today, we're taking you all the way to Thailand, and joining us is Sara from. She traveled there recently, and she's going to take us through her trip there. Welcome, Sara. I'm really pleased to have you here.
You so much, Ananya. I'm so excited to talk about my trip today.
Before we dive into your trip, I'd love to know a little bit more about you, where you're from, and how frequently you travel, and your maybe your IG handle where you document your travels.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Sarah and I'm 21 and I'm from Los Angeles. And I recently graduated from UC Berkeley studying business, but my professionally, I'm really interested in marketing, hence why I also create content on the side about like travel, lifestyle, and wellness. And my current handle on TikTok is at Sarah Sky, SARASKYE, where I'm documenting my journey. And yeah.
So TikTok is your main channel.
Yeah, I would say I use like TikTok and Instagram the most.
For us here in India, TikTok is banned, so
Oh,
we can't it. But yeah, I found you on Instagram, so it's good that you have that as well.
cool, cool.
Yeah. When was your trip to Thailand?
Yeah, so my trip was during winter break and it was for about 2.5 weeks. And yeah, so it was in the months of December to January. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And were you traveling by yourself?
I was actually traveling with one of my best friends there.
Oh, that's so cool. So during your trips, is it always like you travel with friends?
Yeah, I think most of the time, I actually did a small trip before I went solo to Paris, but I enjoy like having other people company with me. But
Hmm.
I recently started traveling alone or with friends. I normally travel with family too, but yeah.
So Thailand was with your best friend.
Yeah.
And you said you were there for 2.5 weeks.
Yes. Yeah.
So was this like a good enough time to cover all the destinations that you wanted to?
Yeah, honestly, I think we spent a good amount of time in each city that we stayed in. So we went to 4 or 5 cities, and they were each in different regions. So sometimes we had to travel there by ferry or by plane. But I think we spent a good amount of time where we could see everything, but also relax. So it was great.
Yeah, I think 2.5 weeks is a pretty good time to take a break, take a vacation, and explore a different country.
Sure.
So you went during your winter break. So this was around December.
Yeah.
So December last year.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the best time to visit because Thailand has their monsoon season and it happens around like February to May. So it's best to visit like after that. Yeah.
So how was the weather when you went?
Yeah, I think it was perfect. It was very sunny most of the time and it's pretty humid there generally. But yeah, it was nice weather though, for sure.
And it must have been good to travel from where you are. It must have been wintry, and you were going over to like a tropicalish country.
Yeah, for sure.
So what all locations did you go to in Thailand?
Yeah, so we started off spending New Year's in Bangkok, which was amazing. And then we took a plane and we went to Chiang Mai. So from there, we took a plane and went to the south, so like Phuket area. And we spent only a day there. I would have wanted to spend more time there, but we just went to be close to the next destinations. So after that, we took a ferry from Phuket and we went to the islands and
Hmm.
stayed there for a bit. And then we took another ferry and went to Krabi, which is more of a coastal town.
So you almost covered a whole like a loop around Thailand.
Yeah.
So you stayed the longest on the islands, or did you like break it up between these various spots that you had selected?
Yeah, I think we spent the most time in Bangkok and Chiang Rai because there's so much to do there. So we spent around 4 to 5 days in each place in like Chiang Rai and Bangkok. But the other places we stayed either for 2 days or 4 days, depends. But I can get more into detail as well.
And how did you select which all places you wanted to go to within Thailand?
A lot of research. I was on like FaceTime calls with my friend and we were just looking up stuff. And I'm glad that we both have similar travel styles. We both love nature, but also like city life, and we want to have a balance of that. So it was great to go with her.
Yeah, it's important to have that like-mindedness when you're traveling with someone for sure. And it's quite interesting that you covered like a lot of these locations because usually, like when I hear my friends who have been to Thailand, they talk about all of these very beach locations only in Thailand. So I'm quite interested to learn from you, like all the other parts of it as well.
Yeah, for sure. They're each so have their own unique attractions, for sure.
I think we can start now with the details of your trip. So you started off by landing up in Bangkok, right?
Yeah, so we arrived on December 30th. And actually we arrived pretty late, but we still went outside to explore the city. So we went to their night market first, which was incredible. They had food and like different attractions there and like stuff to buy. So it was really interesting. And we walked on Khao San Road, which is a really chaotic main street, but it was really exciting to see everything. Like we saw spiders being roasted, which was funny, but a lot of different things to see. And then the next day, we did a whole temple tour. So we went to Wat Pho, the Grand Palace, Emerald Buddha, and Wat Arun, which was really fun, like all just exploring the culture itself and seeing all the locals also, they were there as well. So being really integrated into the culture. And then this was also New Year's. So at night, we went to the Central World Plaza Siam Tower. And it's like a big mall, one of the biggest malls I've seen, honestly, like compared to the US. It's insane. And then we went to the rooftop to see fireworks, but we actually hadn't made reservations in time. So then we had to run back down and we just ended up seeing the fireworks on the street, but it was still like incredible. Yeah, like the views were amazing. And then from there, we took Grab, which is the Uber they use in Thailand. I highly suggest you download that app before you go. But then from there, we went back to Khao San Road and they had a lot of New Year's events and parties happening there until like around 4 a.m. So we stayed there, which was really fun. And yeah, that was New Year's Eve. And then on New Year's Day, we went on a food tour, which was really exciting. So we set this up with the hostel we were staying at.
Hmm.
And it was cool because we went to a local market, then we tried different foods and samples of different things. And we also took one of these small boats or canoes, and they took us through. It was like one of those water markets, so where you like, yeah, it was really cool. And then on day 4, we did a day trip to Ayutthaya, which is the ancient capital of Bangkok. And it was interesting to see the remains of that. Like there was a war it was between Thailand and Myanmar. And we saw all of the remainders from the bombs and stuff. It was really interesting though, because it was so secluded from everything. And we had to take a hour or 2 hour long bus ride. So it was cool to get outside in the country of Bangkok and see that. And then on day 5, we did more of just like chill shopping back at the malls, and we went to the one of the towers. Let me see, I don't remember what it's called, but it's the tallest building in Bangkok, which was really cool. Yeah, it was really cool to go to that. But yeah.
So on the food tour, did you eat anything interesting?
Yeah, actually, I didn't really jackfruit when I first tried it, but I tried jackfruit there. I got pad thai, which is like a classic. It was really good. I tried these small pancakes and they have this sweet condiment on it and they were really good actually. I forgot the name, but yeah, everything was really new, so it was cool to try.
And how did you like the vibe of Bangkok, especially around New Year time?
It was definitely a very lively vibe. I think there's a lot to do, also food-wise there, which is nice, and a lot to see, like temples and historic monuments. So it's a very like interesting place to be at for sure.
And did you also shop in Bangkok?
Yeah, so we went to one of the gigantic malls over there and we bought a lot of different things actually. I went to Uniqlo there, which is also like an international store, but we also went to smaller local boutiques and picked up a few things. I got a little bag there and yeah, it was cool to just even shop with our eyes and not buy anything too. But it was really fun. Yeah.
I think this adds up with what I've heard about Bangkok as well. Like,
Yeah,
people say that it has a very lively vibe.
for sure. Yeah.
So that was like around 4 days that you spent in Bangkok.
Yeah, for sure. And also for the food, I have to say the mango is incredible. Like definitely when you're there, go try that. I had this like mango coconut ice cream, which was really good. And yeah.
Yeah, I think Thailand definitely has like great food. Yes. So after Bangkok, what was your next stop?
So after Bangkok, we flew to Chiang Rai, which is more of like a nature-esque town, and it was definitely very different. It was more calm, and I really liked how we could just relax there. Like the air was really like clean and nice, and yeah, it was a cool, relaxing trip. But we also had a lot planned too,
Mm.
so we were really excited.
Both Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai are in the northern part of Thailand, right?
Yeah, Chiang Mai and Bangkok's a little bit more south, but yeah, Chiang Mai is
Uh,
in the north. So
yeah, okay.
yeah, so we started our first night. We also did markets. So what I like about Chiang Mai is that they have a lot more markets, I would say, like just through the streets, which was really cool. They also have really high quality garments too. So I think I got the most stuff from Chiang Mai actually. Then the next day we went hiking. So we went to Doi Inthanon National Park, but they had a whole tour. So we stopped at a waterfall, which was incredible. It was called Wachi Waren Falls, and there was really a rainbow coming out of it. So it was so pretty. And we hiked a bit before that, but after we went to this temple called Wat Pho, and it's in the mountains, so we had to hike for like an hour to get there. But it was lovely. And yeah, that was our second day. And then our third day, we did a little trip again to a village. It's a tea village. And we did the tea tasting there. And it was super cool to engage and talk to everyone, like the villagers, and they prepared tea for us. And we were with a group of tourists too, so we like got to try it and talk with everyone. And that day too, oh yeah, so the next day after that, we did an elephant sanctuary experience, which was probably one of my favorite parts of my trip because it's super cool to get up close with the elephants. And highly suggest not going for elephant riding because most of the time it is unethical. So we found this sanctuary where you can feed the elephants and then bathe with them. So that was really cool. And they were all really well taken care of. And the place was called Marim Elephant Sanctuary. So they took a bus there. Like they basically picked us up from our hostel and then they took us there. And then, yeah, it was amazing. Like we got to feed the elephants and then they took pictures of us. And then they had this like big lake, so we went in there with them. And yeah, it was super fun. And to conclude our trip, we actually that night we also went to the markets again. But the next day we went to JJ Market, Jiang Jai Market, and that's like a farmer's market that happens every Sunday. And then we tried food there and went to different stands, so it was really fun. And then that was our last experience in Chiang Rai.
For the elephants, scary in any way.
I think at first I was like scared they were gonna do something, but they were actually really cute and all they wanted to do was eat. So they would bring out their trunks and take the squash or whatever or carrots from us. It was really funny.
Sounds fun, yeah, but I would be a little scared too.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
So, what did you like best about the experiences that you had in Chiang Rai?
Yeah, I think honestly the food was very fresh there. I think it was better than Bangkok because they had a more like the northern cuisine is a bit different. I got to try this dish called cow soy, which is a very interesting blend of flavors. So savory, sweet, spicy, and it's like a curry noodle soup. It was really good though. And then I got chicken with that. And there were also, I really like how Chiang Rai is more nature. It was a nice break, like from the city too. So the
Hmm.
hiking was amazing there. And yeah, and I love the elephants too. So very much into nature in Chiang Rai.
Yeah, lots of hiking and walking that you did within these spots as well, plus like you were hiking generally too.
Yeah.
So what was your next stop after that?
Yeah, so next we woke up pretty early to take a bus to Chiang Rai, which is also another town in the north. And it's a bit smaller, but they're really famous for their white temple, which was created by an artist who actually had a drug addiction, but he wanted to symbolize that within a temple. So it was really cool. So we went there this like the night after we got there. And it's really interesting because they're sculptures of hands like reaching out to you from the ground, which is symbolizing like restraint and stuff. But it was really cool. So we went there for, oh, actually, yeah, we did that the next day. But the night before, we actually did a whole spontaneous tour. Basically, we got into our Uber or Grab, and then we were like, what do you recommend we do? And then
Yeah.
he told, oh, I could give you like a whole tour. Because I think that people there are super sweet and especially like they're down to show you their country and stuff. So what he did was we had a like some sort of a plan. We wanted to go to this tea plantation. So we took us there first and we tried the tea and cakes and it was called Choi Fong tea plantation. And yeah, it was really nice. And then we sat there for a bit. And then he took us to the Golden Triangle, which is a bit of a drive. It's about an hour, but it's the border between Thailand, Myanmar, and Laos. So yeah, so we went there and it was really interesting to see like how different it was compared to Thailand because of it had influences from the other countries. But then we took a boat and then we went to the other country actually. So we went across the river to Laos for just a little bit. And it was really cool. They had a lot of interesting things at their market. They had this like scorpion whiskey with a scorpion and a snake in it, which was scary to see. And then we walked through and there's like a park there and they decorate it with sculptures and stuff. It was like we were in a different dimension for a second. And then we went back and that was like before what we did at the White Temple. So yeah, I got that mixed up. But first we did the whole like Golden Triangle experience, and then we did the te White Temple.
Mm.
And then we only stayed there for 2 days. So after that, we went to the night markets, got food, slept, and then we woke up for our next destination. But yeah.
That Golden Triangle experience definitely sound fun and a little bit crazy.
Yeah, it was really cool though. Yeah.
So is it like legit to cross into another country or are there
Yeah, they're pretty chill with it. I think it's because a lot of tourists do it. So they
mm,
don't really have that much they do have security, but they're not too strict about it if you're there for only an hour or something. Yeah.
okay. Did you try any of those items? Like you mentioned the scorpion and snake whiskey.
Oh no, it was better to admire it.
Is
They
this?
did have samples actually. Like when you walk there, they have a whole sampling thing. They're like, "Do you want to try some?" I'm like, "Yeah, no thanks." I
Not
heard
really.
it's very strong, but yeah, it's literally like a snake and then a snake wrapped around a scorpion. I don't
I'm
know. Yeah, it's really interesting. But yeah.
going to have to Google that. Sounds fun though, yeah. And then, so th those were your 2 days in Chiang Rai.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about, so this was, you went to your second tea plantation here, because you went to one in Chiang Mai as well.
Yeah, so in Chiang Rai, we went to the tea plantation. Yeah.
Um,
To a tea village in the
um,
mountains in Chiang Rai. Yeah.
the names are definitely confusing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you enjoy like any specific tea over there while you were trying, like doing the tasting?
Yeah, so they had a lot of different options. They had like jasmine and green tea, but they also had their unique traditional tea there as well, which was similar to black tea actually, but it was really good. And then we also tried coffee too. I
Oh.
think so have like a coffee as well, but yeah.
Mm. After this, you were off to Phuket, I think.
Oh yeah, we were going to islands after that. Oh,
Okay.
sorry. We actually went to Phuket. I'm getting confused too. But we took a plane and then we went to Phuket and we stayed there actually just for one night because we mainly went there to be closer to the ferry,
Mm.
basically. But for one night in Phuket, we actually went to their beach. It's called Patong Beach, and they have a lot of nightlife there. So we just did that for the first night, the only night we were there. We also got a massage before that as well. So I highly recommend massages when you're in Thailand because they're really cheap and you can find them almost anywhere you go.
I think especially the beach towns in Thailand are really famous for their massages.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we were only in Phuket for just a day, but it was really fun as well.
And then you were off to the Phi Phi Islands.
Yeah, so we got up and then went on the ferry. And then we'll reach the Phi Phi Islands. And then I think Phi Phi Islands is just a crazy like party island, but it's really fun. A lot to do. So we got there and then it's a whole town where there's no transportation, like no cars, but there are bikes and stuff.
Oh,
And everything most of the time we're just walking to it. So we had to walk with our suitcases in the heat all the way to our Airbnb, which was
no.
like a 20-minute walk, which was annoying, but we got there and then we went up a hill and we were staying at one of these like mini resorts on Airbnb, which was still like super affordable, which was great. But we had a little bungalow to ourselves with amazing views as well of the ocean and everything. So the first night we took it chill, actually. We just hung around and then we went to a fire show at night on the beach, which was really fun. Like it was amazing how they were like throwing up fire and dancing and going on tight ropes. And then the next day we went on their famous viewpoint hike. So there's two viewpoints in PP, so we saw those and it was really fun. That was like in the morning. And then in the afternoon, we went on this little snorkel day trip, which was really fun. The water is so blue and clear there for sure. So we went on a day trip and we went to one of their famous sites. It's basically with the big mountains in the ocean, like in one of the movies. Yeah, but it was really cool to see it up close. And yeah, I can find the name as well. I forgot where it was, but
Okay. So when you were snorkeling, did you spot any sea creatures?
yeah, for sure. We saw a lot of like fish in the water. But yeah, it was really like they wouldn't bother you. But it was really fun. Yeah. And the movie it was from is if you watch the James Bond movies and they have those like islands coming out of the water. You know what I'm
Oh.
So it was really cool to see that. And then so we just did a snorkel day that day. And then after that, we went oh yeah, after that was basically our last day. So we got up in the morning and then we went to the Krabi, which is a coastal
Mm.
town. It's not an island, so it was different, but yeah.
And how long were you in Krabi?
We were in Krabi for actually 5 days, so same time as Bangkok and Chiang Mai. I think it's because it's a bigger town, so there's a lot more to do. BP was really small, like it was much smaller. So we stayed for around like 4 days, but it was still a good amount of time to see everything. Yeah. I actually did get food poisoning in BP,
Oh, no.
unfortunately. So that kind of the only thing that it affected was I wasn't able to go out at night because I had to stay in and take care of that. And then I couldn't go to this tiger temple in Krabi, but I
Oh,
still got to do a few things in Krabi that were really exciting. My friend went to those as well, actually. But yeah, she did take care of me too, though. She brought me toast and bananas to keep good things going. But yeah.
oh, that's good of your friend to take care of you. But yeah, were you able to find medicines or something to help with the food poisoning when you were there in PP?
Yeah, yeah. So I think I got it from the sushi I ate. I went to a sushi restaurant and it seemed really like good and 5 star and everything, but I don't recommend having sushi in Thailand. Um, and I think it was on ice too. So I think the ice might have been like contaminated because the water there isn't that great. So I would avoid having like tap water there too. But I think it's that because the night I ate that, I was just feeling a bit queasy. and then I just stayed in and then took care of it. But it was really like really a rough time, I have to admit, the few nights I had it, the few first nights. And then I
Hmm.
had to go straight on the ferry after, so I was
Oh,
holding for the flight there. But then we finally got to Krabi, and then my friend got me medicine there at one of the pharmacies, and she got this charcoal or yeah, or carbon pills. And then those really helped me alleviate the diarrhea I was having. But it was like, yeah, it happened. It hit in about a day, so I was like fine then.
okay.
And
So you found some respite in Krabi once you got there. Okay, that's good. But sorry that you had to suffer through it while you were at the on the
yeah,
Phi Phi
yeah.
Islands.
It
Yeah,
shows that like, traveling, you never know what can happen
yeah.
and you have to be prepared all the time. Things aren't perfect all the time, but yeah.
What all did you do in Krabi then? You had to cancel out a few things, but what all were you able to do?
Yeah, for sure. So I think I was feeling better then. My favorite place we stayed was probably in Krabi. We were like, oh, it's our last few days, so we're gonna invest a bit more and get a nice Airbnb. So we got a tree house, but it was very like spacious and it was located in a resort. And there were literally some monkeys, like a whole monkey family outside in the morning. And we viewed it from our balcony, which was really cute and wholesome. It was like a baby too. And then I would say I was feeling much better at this point. I just stayed in one day and then we went out at night. So my
Hmm.
friend like ventured out and then we joined each other at night and then we met up at the beach and we got dinner there and got a massage and that was the first day. And then the next day I tried to pull myself together to go on a hike because I really wanted to. And it was probably the hardest hike of my life. It was 5 hours total. But I still went with it and it was really worth it. The views were amazing once you got there. And yeah, it was definitely like the steepest hike. There was this one point where there were rocks, just only rocks, like going up. So you had to step through that and get up. And we also met other travelers on the way there too. So that was super fun. And then the next day we had more of a chill, like beach day because Krabi has amazing beaches. And one of their famous beaches is called Nong Beach and Aonang. It was Aonang Beach. So we went there. And Aonang has a very low tide, so you're able to really go into the water. And
Oh,
yeah, it was beautiful. And then we got another massage. It was just relaxing, taking your time there. But yeah, that was our time in Krabi. And then I also got a tattoo, a seat. Yeah. And they have a whole bunch of tattoo shops there on the beach as well. But yeah.
that's cool. And it sounds fun that you were hiking and like getting exhausted and then taking a massage to just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
chill and relax a little bit after exerting yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Because right when I got it in PP, we had to immediately move around. So I was just like overwhelmed. But then coming to Krabi, I could relax. It's really known for relaxation, I would say, and nature. That's what Krabi's about. So
And Krabi was your last spot that you were like last destination in Thailand, right?
yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
sad that, I'd love to visit Thailand again for sure.
So of all the locations that you visited, was there one that you enjoyed the most?
Ooh, I think I love Chiang Mai a lot because the people were very sweet there. And we could do a lot. So the food was top tier, I would say, in Chiang Mai. And
Mm.
then the hiking was also amazing, the nature. We met a lot of travelers there, made new friends that I'm still in contact with actually, which is really fun. All went to one of the farmers markets together, and it's a very cute town, which I like. Like it's
Mm.
not too peaceful, but it's not too crowded like Bangkok. And it's
Mm.
not as peaceful as Krabi, where there's not like Krabi, like it's more of a family destination too. I think Chiang Mai is very much for like young backpackers exploring.
Yeah, I like that you can go hiking and enjoy these natural sights as well over there.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of temples as well in that region that you can also visit, like in the northern part.
For sure. I think there's temples actually everywhere you go, but I would say definitely Bangkok and Chiang Mai, I saw a lot of temples. And then Chiang Rai with their famous white temple as well. Yeah.
Was there a temple that you really liked visiting? It was really striking for you?
Yeah, I would say in Bangkok it was Wat Pho, which was really incredible. We went at sunset there. Or sorry, Wat Arun. Yeah. We went at sunset there and it was really it was like a gigantic temple. So that was really pretty and how the sunset reflected off of the architecture there. And then another temple, which was stunning in its different way. It was like the White Temple in Chiang Rai. I just think it was completely different from what I thought a temple could look like. It was more like modern, but it was still really cool. It was entirely white and like walking into it, it was like the detail was astonishing.
You certainly had a very mix, like a mix of experiences, cultural spots, and then markets and food spots, and then with Krabi, like a beach vacation. So definitely, like you packed in a mix during your trip.
Yeah. Yeah, I love a good mix for sure.
Yeah. So, was there anything that you missed out on? I think you wanted to visit a spot in Krabi that you missed out on.
Yeah, so I wanted to visit the Tiger Temple. My friend actually went, but the minute she told me there were like over, I don't know exactly how many, but there were so many steps that you had to go, and there was no shade at all. So I was like, there's no way. She went. She's like a hu really active person. But I was
Okay.
still recovering. I was still recovering from my thing, and I already went on the other hike. So I was like, I'm gonna take it out this time. But she really liked it too. She said it was really strenuous, but the views were amazing, and she has a few pictures from there too.
So maybe the next time that you go, you can cover that one.
Yeah, for sure. There's so much still to hike and see as well. Yeah.
Hmm. Let's come to the places that you were staying at. You mentioned you were staying at hostels a lot in many of these locations, and then a couple of Airbnbs, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with Bangkok. Were you staying at a hostel there?
Yeah, so we did stay at a hostel and it was called Nap Park. And it was a really fun young hostel, like a lot of young travelers there. And it was very clean. I would say you get a lot for what you pay for in Thailand compared to Europe because they're very clean hostels that are nice to stay at. So we stayed there for the Bangkok trip most of the time. And then in Chiang Mai, we stayed in another hostel, which was really cute. And I'll send you the name after, but it was also a really cute hostel that we stayed at. They had a little outdoor area as well with a hammock. So that was really nice. And then in Chiang Rai, we stayed at another hostel and it was also the same vibe. And then we stayed at an Airbnb in Phuket just for a night. And honestly, I enjoyed my time more at hostels than Airbnbs because you got to meet people in
Yeah.
hostels. And hostels also, it was just more a different experience, which I liked and for sure. But the Airbnb, we stayed in Phuket and then we stayed in another Airbnb in Phi Phi Islands. And it was cool to stay in an Airbnb there because you could get that really in nature experience because we found some bungalows that you could stay at because Airbnb has a lot of alternative accommodations.
Yes.
So was nice to stay in directly in nature. And then the tree house in Krabi was probably my favorite just because they also have in bed breakfast.
Oh,
Really nice. And they brought like a whole assortment of fruit, noodles, whatever you wanted, like the day before you could write to them. And they can bring you like pancakes too. So there was a lot there and then the monkeys that we would see. But the only issue with the Krabi Airbnb was that it was far from everything. But
hmm.
with a short grab bike, like one of the bikes or like Uber, you could get there. Yeah.
So you had a good experience at the tree house, just that it was away from the city a little bit.
Yeah.
And what about the three hostels in Bangkok, Chiang Rai, and Chiang Mai? Were they quite centrally located?
Yeah, for sure. They were really close to everything except Chiang Rai, but Chiang Rai, anyways, I think it's a bit far from the main attractions. Yeah. Chiang Rai mostly was like a tourist place. There were people who lived there, but it was mostly known for their attractions. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. And you were able, like, even when the accommodation was a little bit far away, you were able to find the grab bikes to get to the attractions.
Yeah, for sure. So you could call up one. Yeah.
And apart from the tree house, none of the others had meals, or did they?
No, they didn't. No.
Okay.
I think it said like on the listing. So if yeah.
But I think you were already finding a lot of food elsewhere, so it must have been all right.
Yeah. But they actually did. Actually, they did. They in Chiang Rai, they had or Chiang Mai, they had a whole setup of like cereal, like basic foods and stuff. Yeah. So
Okay.
some hostels do like provide a basic like breakfast. Yeah.
But I think otherwise also it's easy to find food in Thailand, for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. Yeah. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you
Uh,
been to Thailand?
no, not yet. So I'm taking
Oh,
notes as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So if you have to like share tips with a first time traveler who's going to visit Thailand soon, what would they be? I think you've mentioned a few here and there, but I'd love to know what would be your tips for someone.
Yeah, for sure. I could definitely reiterate some things. So, especially, I think, be careful or cognizant of the water contamination there, especially with tap water. So, always have bottled water with you and carry water wherever you go. And also food contamination because sometimes they wash the vegetables with the like tap water. So then the vegetables are contaminated. So I would try to avoid at all costs, just like like raw vegetables or raw meat slash fish. Careful of that. The second thing I would do is really take advantage of the massages there for sure. Like I think that was really worth it. And then
Yeah.
also, like the food and massages are really cheap, so it's super nice. And then next, like elephant riding, I would avoid it or try to find somewhere that's ethical. But most of the time, I would say they're not. So stick to like sanctuaries. And
Hmm.
then fourth, for the temples and all of that, I would bring a cover for your legs because and like your shoulders because just to respect the culture. Yeah, I would definitely do that. And sometimes they don't let you in, so it's good to have it with you even so you can
Hmm.
like change. And then because it was really hot too, so I get it, but yeah, to get into the temples you need to cover up. And then
Yeah.
I would say lastly, like the best time to go is from November to May, just because it's not monsoon season and the weather is really nice. And yeah, so I would avoid like any time other than that.
What about language? Did you face any issues with language anywhere in Thailand?
Yeah, not at all. I would say most people knew or understood English. So yeah, there's some points where you have to coordinate with them a bit more. But overall, everyone that I've spoken to knew English, at least to some capacity. So it was great. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
that's
I
great.
also learned a few like Thai phrases as well. But
Oh,
yeah, it was really
can you
fun.
tell us?
I know like really basic stuff. But yeah, I know like a few. I love you means kan rakun. Yeah. Hello means I think it's sawasi. And then thank you means kapkun. Or yeah.
Say that it's a difficult language. Like the
Yeah,
pronunciations
definitely.
are difficult. Even like the names of the attractions are a little bit like difficult on your tongue.
No, for sure. Wachiva Waterfalls. Yeah.
Yeah. Did the vary like when you were in the north and in the islands and Krabi and all in
Yeah,
any
I
way?
think for sure. Yeah. So in Bangkok, it was definitely more hot and dry. And then in the north, it was more humid and cool, which I actually like the north more because of the weather too. You could still wear whatever you wanted, but it was just more clean weather, like also clean weather or air quality, but it was also really cool there and nice.
More
And then the
pleasant.
yeah, and then the islands were also really humid and hot. I think Phi Phi was very hot when we went, but Krabi was cooler. Yeah.
Okay. So mostly it would be like summer clothing that you'll need, but
For
in
sure.
some places it could still be very hot.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad that we didn't backpack, but we had a carry-on. So that's all we had. We didn't have any checked bags with us. We didn't buy a lot of things, so I don't think we would have been able to fit everything in a backpack. If you're like a big like shopper or want souvenirs, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely bring a check like bag, yeah.
Did you get any souvenirs?
Yeah, I got a lot of things. Trying to think from the top of my head, but I got a lot of clothes because it's really cheap there too. So I got a white long skirt, a short white skirt, a cover up, like which was like a crochet cover up, and then I got a green crochet bag, and then I got a gift for my brother. It was one of the tuk-tuks, like a small tuk used to transport around there. I think they used it in India as well,
Yeah.
tuk-tuks.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of like jewelry as well. So I got like a pearl like ring bracelet and then another necklace, a lot of
Hmm.
different things, super nice. And then yeah, I got more stuff, but I'm trying to think from the top of my head. Yeah.
So it was a good trip shopping wise.
Then I got some tea as well. So
That's really cool. Yeah, I think it's a good destination for shopping for sure.
yeah. And the malls too. Yeah.
So would you go back to Thailand again?
Yeah, for sure. I really want to get another massage. I miss my affordable massages because here in the US it's so expensive. And the food is, yeah, I miss everything about Thailand for sure.
Yeah, that's great. And I think the fact that you want to go back definitely means that you loved it a lot. Yeah. So I think with that, we'll wrap up today's session. It was definitely fun listening to you, Sarah, and I have definitely taken down some notes to plan my trip.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm so glad. Yeah. Let me know like how what you end up doing for sure. I'm so excited
yeah.
to see it. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be useful, like the tips that you have shared and all the details of your trip that you have shared today. They will be useful for our viewers as well. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, of course. I'm so glad. I love just sharing my love for traveling. So I think there's so much to see and explore in this world. So for sure.
Yeah, for sure. There's so much to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. With that, we'll wrap this up.